which one is the most versatile? Scratch that. Which element is a TKO? Like one hit and you out.
Airbending, period, man. Airbend the oxygen out of your lungs, you're dead. Like, what are you talking about?
All right.
But I would say it would be water, because if you're able to blood bend to a certain extent, you're
there you go.
dead instantly.
You're right.
Spine
It
right
depends
there.
on who has the quickest draw at that point. When you think.
That's all it is.
But I think suffocation takes longer though, right? No?
A heart attack
it
compared to
depends.
suffocation is really, or just exploding blood out somebody's body and it's gone.
I think the blood is more, faster.
If we're doing knockout, air, and
yeah, but you can't perform if you have no oxygen in your body. What are you gonna do when you have nothing supporting this your body system? You have no oxygen, nothing.
Yeah.
How are you gonna supposed to do that fancy little moves and blood bend when you
But
can't even
he
move?
does-
you still
he
have to
does
do
have
a
a point on
fancy
that.
move. You still have to do a fancy move to get to instant
Yeah, but
death.
again, though, it's like
It's whoever sees who's first.
yeah, but it's like, but like you said though, wind is a little bit more versatile. It can be more focusing on the kill.
How long does it take for you to suffocate?
You got about a minute and some change.
wait,
body
say you have an
poison at the same
airbender
time.
and a waterbender having a target, and they're like, who would go out first?
Again, that depends on the.
I could snap and his heart's gone.
person.
Wait, but we're not even talking about the technical skills, because like any lightning bender could take somebody out quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
That's
lightning.
lightning. That's fast as light.
Yeah, but it's slow though to perform it though. You can do like dancing
Yeah,
and things.
because it's not quick. It's not quick draw.
It's not
move.
quick. That's what
It,
he's
it takes time to charge and all this other
Well,
stuff.
technically, an earthbender can make a technical
cocoon.
sniper from a far away range.
Oh, combustion?
And that's it.
Yeah.
Gone.
no,
Yeah.
you got that's
The
no,
combustion dude was crazy.
So
That's what I'm
lava
saying.
bending could still technically take someone out if you could if that person
Lava
could
would
sneak up on
definitely take
somebody.
longer.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did, but I'm just saying though. But again, it's not a quick. It's not a quick
I guess
move
it's
kind of
who's
thing.
the fastest then.
I think it's bloodbending, man.
the
Because,
fastest,
I mean,
right?
you can hold your breath for over
Yeah,
a minute.
but
True.
holding it,
It
so
takes
that's the
longer.
thing though. You can hold your breath for a long period of time, yes. However, when all the oxygen is sucked out of your body cannot function properly.
Yeah,
So therefore,
but then I think that's why bloodbending, only because you can get directly to the blood really quickly
And
to
then
knock
hard
somebody
again,
out.
And the blood is what carries the oxygen.
But again, it's as he said in the beginning, it's who gets to jump on who first. So if an airbender gets to jump on a bloodbender, and even then, if they're facing off, the airbender is faster. You can't bloodbend if your body's not cooperating, and you can't think properly
Yeah.
in order to blood.
And
That's why we're using targets, because
Yeah,
the only thing
but
is
no, but that's the
because
thing.
that's going to be a whole nother argument.
How
of,
many
like,
air
technical
nomads
skills.
are that brutal?
No, we can't do that.
We're not
We're
talking about in
not
terms of personality. We're talking about in terms of the actual
yeah.
elements of it. Because again,
Because the thing, we're not talking about moral code.
It's
Right, we're not talking about
50-50 for me. Then it has
but
to be.
it's
What
each other
technique do you?
responsive
You got to
to it.
ask yourself, how do you do the technique to where you suck out the water out, or I mean the air out of the person's lungs? Because think about how quick and how fast techniques
Right,
are.
techniques are,
It was
Speed.
a motion. It was a motion of about 0.5 to almost a second, where blend bending was about 1.5 to 2 seconds. The reason why I say that, if you watch the shows, blend bending in the second season of Korra's Legend, it didn't take him not but 0.5 to a second in order to take the oxygen and suffocate somebody. And the first season, when it comes to blood bending, she had to gather, focus, and then perform the dance in order to, I say dance,
Boom.
but the move.
Learn this
But you're
avatar
talking about
logic
she,
right
so
here.
she was that was the early forms of bloodbending, right?
No, this is an old lady. The very first
Yeah.
time they introduced it into the show, it
So
was
you're
an
talking about the
old
first
lady.
Yes.
Avatar,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
yeah.
the first
Practice
Avatar,
on
like before
rap.
So you gotta
Korra
ask
dressed
yourself now with Korra, the bloodbending has advanced to the point where
Yeah.
more people are doing it. So
Yeah.
it should be faster,
Yeah.
technically, compared to what it was at the beginning.
True.
Not like a dig, but like, where'd you find that out? Like, how fast it was?
It's watching the show. That's all it is. So literally, when Homeboy sucked out the oxygen of one of the other airbenders, or not airbenders, another bender, it literally took him a whole just boom, done. The person started suffocating. He couldn't get no oxygen. Or he can also pop an orb of air around their head where they're not getting any oxygen. And again,
Yeah, because it can pull it out too.
yes. So it depends on what route you want to go. Again, with bloodbending, even in the first and the second season, it took a build-up. It took concentration, because water is natural. Ice takes a little bit is a little bit harder to control for a waterbender, but it's still 100% possible. When it comes to bloodbending, that comes down to feel, natural ability, and skill.
But that would make it even more lethal. Because it could make it a little bit faster. Because the thing is, even though like it did take a lot of time to do it the first time, once you get good at bloodbending, like it's a cool. Amon was the one that took the powers. His brother was the water tribe guy that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
because he did one motion, same as like this, to take them
away.
out.
You fool. You've never faced bending like mine.
Because remember the flashback with like Aang and them, where he literally took out the entire row of them and controlled them. He had enough skill to do that. So what's to say like he can't knock you out like within the same amount of time?
Okay, so with that same, so let me ask you another question. So the other after they put him away, the other major villain that became an Airbender, when the cosmos got set correctly, him versus the brother, who do you think would win in that fight? Because they can both move, they can both dodge, and they are both lethal in their own right.
Bloodbender. Just because I feel like
Airbending
with
was praised for
airbending
its speed and for its speed.
Yeah,
and
but I'm just talking about when it
agility.
comes to like knockout ability.
Well,
Also,
that's
couldn't a
what-
big ass rock just smash somebody and he's dead? Somebody who can hurt man for real is smashed up.
But again, though, even in that and such, both air and water can just slice up rockers.
So just have, okay,
I do like the
everybody
fact
think
though
about-
that nobody said fire.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fire is strong. Whether we're talking about lava, electricity, and or just regular fire
Or combustion.
Yes, or combustion. Like fire has the most subgenres. However, it's like if you're playing an RPG. You know. Oh God. I had it. It was like playing an RPG. You're playing a glass canyon. That's what glass cannon. That's what a firebender is. No matter what subgenre you're talking about, lots of damage, hardly any durability.
Yeah.
Now, when we're talking about the most versatile, that has the most lethal. That's most lethal. Again, I sit with airbending, but it would be airbending on water. Water has more versatility than airbending when it comes to menial stuff like making ice. They control water. They can get to wherever the hell they need to.
Yeah, and I
then
like
they
the
have
fact you can pull
bloodbending.
water out of the straight air.
That's what brings it to the
You can freeze
versatility,
blood.
because if a waterbender is underwater, let's say, of course they're gonna be all right. But if an airbender is underwater, they wouldn't be able to perform. Whereas if a waterbender,
They could perform, but it would take a lot more.
Yeah, it would take a lot more.
Okay,
but it's
so-
like,
so like
That also
as far
depends,
as like
though.
the waterbending goes, your opponent is always gonna have like blood or some type of lubricant if they're like
right,
an automated
but there's
thing.
oxygen
or,
in water. There's air in water as well. So as long as the airbender has an like in
Wait,
the
have you
like,
ever seen an airbender actually do something underwater?
yeah. The air bubble, dude.
Yeah,
Aang,
because
hold on. First of all, Aang, and now I'm not talking about Aang with his avatar powers, but with his avatar powers activated, pretty much in the very beginning, what was protecting him in the water was air. It was an aura of air. It was just he was pulling air out of water and surrounding himself with it and made a bubble. So again, being underwater isn't necessarily detrimental, but again, air could still fight back
I mean,
underwater.
he was frozen for 100 years.
I mean, him and Katara did do it though.
Yeah.
I do. It took me a second to remember that, but like they both were doing it. I think he was waterbending though. That's the thing.
it could have been. It could have been both.
Because it was the Book of Water. That was the
Yeah,
only
it
reason
was,
why-
it was.
We've
But I'm
never
just
seen
saying,
an airbender just specifically, not an avatar. An airbender do that specifically.
right, specifically.
I think
yeah.
what's his, just to kind of like give a little bit more strength to it. I think what's his name that was flying could do that.
Oh, the flying guy,
When he lost his girlfriend and he needed that last bit to like fly into the air as an airbender. Not
I don't remember his
Amon,
name.
but he was with the crew of 4 with the combustion woman.
yeah.
The leader that ended up getting the airbending powers, right?
I
Or-
think I would be more on the air side if I got to see a lot more like.
Based on what versatility? Or are we talking about TKO? What are we talking about again?
No. Okay, yeah, we kind of
Yeah,
ran.
that's why I'm lost now. I'm very
Okay,
lost.
so what would y'all choose?
Mine would be water.
Mine would be water. What was everybody else's?
for TKO. This
Water,
is for
for
TKO.
me.
Water.
Water.
One hit kill. What's a one hit kill? Bloodbending or suffocation? This
Well, I
is
mean, technically it would be water and air.
You did say
I'm just
knockout,
saying.
so
Yeah,
that's
so
why.
knockout, so
but
one
you were
hit,
just
like-
like, that's why we were getting technical. It's like there's a lot of technicalities.
okay, fine.
Yeah,
so let's
This is permanent KO.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Team air. I'm sorry.
It's like no, it's fun.
you
It's
can't
like
just say air though. Like, what part of air? Like, is it?
But
like,
that's what I'm
is
saying. That's
air
what got
really?
into the versatility.
that's why we did it. Yeah. You fell asleep. That's your fault. It's not us this time. That's your fault.
Yeah.
We had great arguments.
Hey, next question.
I've seen the first Avatar.
So
the
what,
movie.
what would you choose?
The movie.
The movie? No.
Oh, y'all talking about?
The anime.
The anime.
Oh, no! Don't talk to me, brother. I don't know.
Okay.
I think
Okay, so
I was like, you're talking about the Avatar movie, the bad one?
So we'll go air.
We go air?
No, we'll go water. We'll go
Water.
water.
Okay. All right. Fine. All right. Now scratch.
man, that's inconclusive like a mother.
Yeah. Really inclusive. All right.
Comment which bending style is the most TKO, and click on this video next for more Avatar battles.